In India, women constitute half of the population and are a vital productive workforce in the Indian economy. The 9 sectors where women are employed are agriculture, livestock, textiles and textile products, beverages and tobacco, food products, construction, petty retail trade, education, and domestic services. According to the statistics, majority of women both in urban and rural areas are employed in the informal sector. Now let us know what is this informal sector from the expert Professor P. Kamala Rao.
As pointed out by the International Labour Organization, the informal sector is self-reliant, small scale and is ignored by the government. It is not provided any infrastructure or credit facilities. It employs workers who are poor, work for long hours and earn low incomes. They are ignorant of social legislation and live under exploitative conditions. According to another source, the informal sector comprises of self-employed workers and new entrants to the urban labour market who are forced to take up jobs in the informal sector due to lack of skills and expertise and lack of experience and lack of adequate opportunities in the formal sector. By using the concept of informal sector, the ILO has given recognition to the role of the working poor.
So far we have seen how the International Labour Organization has defined the informal sector. Now let us see what are the criteria which are used to differentiate between formal and informal sectors.
There are 2 sets of criteria which are used to differentiate the formal and the informal sector. The first is the type or size of the enterprise and the second is the condition of employment. The enterprise related criteria of the informal sector are free entry, family ownership, use of indigenous resources, labor intensive small scale operations, adoptive technologies, unregulated and competitive markets, and skills obtained outside formal education system. That is to say, in the informal sector, there is no formal training and therefore the individuals work on their own with their limited experience. The second criteria, which is on the basis of conditions of employment, include uncertain working hours, irregularity of employment, absence of formal labor contract, absence of legal protection and concept of minimum wages, absence of permanent employment and discrimination, and also dependence, subordination and exploitation.
Now let us see what are the different characteristics by which we can distinguish the informal sector from the formal sector.
The informal sector has certain characteristics which distinguish it from any other sector. The informal sector enterprises do not have a formally structured organization. There is limited functional division of labor and specialization. Most of the management and supervisory and sometimes production functions are performed by the proprietor himself. There could also be an extensive use of family labor. There is relatively low order technology. It is capital scarce. It is predominantly manual. There are low productivity techniques of production. The informal sector operates in a highly competitive market and often has to sell goods and services at unfavorable conditions and has to face competition from the organized sector. In this category, there is only one informal sector enterprise which is an exception, and that is the handicraft sector, in which there is a market devoid of competition. Otherwise, the informal sector has to face stiff competition from the organized sector. The informal sector has also no access to public facilities and state patronage like bank credit, foreign technology, imported raw material, proper electricity and water. They sometimes have to pay extra amounts for the same facilities or enter into clandestine agreements with various agencies. Officially they are not denied, but they are not able to avail because of limited material resources. The result is illegal operations. Also, they do not have permanent abodes due to lack of material resources. Therefore, they have to often shift from one place to another, resulting in uncertainty of continuity of the informal sector enterprise.
We have seen that women work in the 9 sectors, major sectors in the economy, like agriculture, or what are the works which they do in these activities?
If we look at the various activities that women are employed in the informal sector, if we take agriculture for example, they do the sowing, every work is done by the women, including the sowing, the weeding, the watering, everything. In fact, they carry water from long distances and then for domestic use, and also in the agricultural fields, the women workers are those the people who use water.
What are the working hours?
The working hours are very, very uncertain and very, very long. They work from dawn to dusk, so to say.
How are the wages?
And wages, as far as men and women are concerned, there is again discrimination. Although women work for long hours, it is considered that physical labor cannot be carried out by the women as much as the men can, and therefore they are paid lesser. In the textiles field, again, as I said, the pre-weaving task was done by the women earlier before the advent of technology, but now that has been taken up by machines and therefore they are displaced. And here women and men work equally in the textiles field, but women work for longer hours, and it is considered to be the domain of women, this block printing, hand printing and so on. Then as far as the beverages and tobacco are concerned, what you were mentioning, women are mostly used for cleaning of bottles, washing of bottles and recycling of bottles, which is considered to be the domain of women because it is a job which does not involve much physical labor. And if you look at the construction laborers, their plight is the worst because they have to carry heavy loads on their heads without much remuneration, without any rest. As far as food products are concerned, mostly we find women engaging themselves in making small snacks like michi bhajis, dosas, etc., for which they have to struggle from the day before or few hours before they start selling.
Now let us see why women join the informal sector and what are the categories of employment which are categorized under this informal sector.
There are 4 categories of women of informal sector in which women work. They are home based workers. In this, the women worked from home. In this again there are 2 categories: women who procure the raw material themselves and supply the finished products, and those who are supplied the raw material and then in turn they complete the finished product and give it back to the person who supplies the raw material. And also there are the other categories which include vendors, where they sell vegetables for instance, or small things like pins, needles, etc. All these are handled by women who have to work hard to procure them and sell them at a very, very minimal profit range. And also there are those manual laborers who have to work to fend themselves and their families, and therefore it is found that manual workers, even though they are paid very less, they often indulge in manual labor work because they have no other choice, and they have to take up tedious work for long hours without much remuneration. Also there are those again the service providers, which include the domestic servants, who are the most exploited lot. They work for more than one employer and are often put to several hardships without any remuneration, proper remuneration, or long working hours they work. They don't have any minimum wages and they have no concept of holidays or off days. It is all unofficial and there is absolute government apathy towards this sector. And most of the women are concentrated in home based industries as piece rate workers, casual laborers and petty trading, for which they don't have to invest much. That is another major problem that women face, and therefore without much investment they can indulge in these activities. Therefore they take up work in the informal sector. Also the women are underestimated and unrecognized by the policy makers and government because they carry out their work at home and it is considered an extension of their domestic work, and women unfortunately cannot leave their domestic work and go out to work, so therefore they prefer to stay at home and work at home and earn some extra money for themselves. And more than this, several studies have pointed out that there is an inverse relationship between income level of the household and women's participation in workforce. The lower is the income level, the greater is the pressure on women to seek work to sustain themselves and their families. So we can say, in other words, that it is sheer poverty which forces the women to work in the informal sector.
What are the problems which women face in the informal sector?
Women in the informal sector face number of problems, and the most important are because of non-existence of regular laws and policies which can be enforced by the state to protect the women who are exploited. Women are mostly exploited here, and there is no means by which this exploitation can be prevented. There are also no time regulations or time limits for the women who are engaged in the informal sector. They have to work for long hours for minimum wages, minimum work, and also if they are sick also they have to work or forego their wages, and therefore they are put to a lot of hardship. And there is no question of additional wages even if they work for longer hours. There is no facility for medical aid or maternity facilities for women who have to bring even their children along with them, because there is no provision for creche facilities where children can be taken care of when the women are working. So the poor women have to sometimes feed the children within the working hours, for which again they are rebuked by the employers, and who do not care whether the child is taken care of or not. They just want their work to be done, and there is nowhere the women can go to, no forum where they can redress their grievances. This is a very pathetic state in which the women are. And there is also discrimination in the matter of wages and hours of work between men and women. Women have been working as the men have been working, but they are paid less. And moreover, apart from this, technology which is supposed to be developing the economy has proved to be detrimental to women in certain cases. Instead of helping the women, technology has displaced the women, and therefore they are put to a lot of hardship. And therefore wherever technology has entered the market, it is the men who have enjoyed or who have benefited from technology than the women who have been displaced. For example, if you look at the dairy product cooperative dairy units, the dairy processing has displaced women. The work done earlier by women has been mechanized, and therefore women are simply thrown out of their jobs. So these are some of the problems that women workers face because of the development of technology. Also in cotton handlooms and woolen cottage industries, hand block printing, there has been a mass displacement of women because of the pre-weaving tasks which were done by women are now done by machines. So these aspects have put women to a lot of hardship because they are simply thrown out of their jobs. This has created additional problems for the women, and moreover for the employer it is very easy for him to make the women work when they want to and throw them out whenever they do not want to. There is no fixed employment as such, and therefore from the employer's point of view it is very easy. They can hire when they want to, throw them out whenever they want to. But for the women who work in this sector, it is found that they are not able to make sure that they will have the job security which is there in the formal sector, where there are some laws to protect the women. Here nothing can protect the women. It is very difficult for the women to ensure that they can continue in that particular job for a long time. Either it is financial insecurity, or it is simply that there is no demand for that particular product, and therefore they are simply thrown out of their jobs. So this is creating a lot of problem for the women, where they do not have any kind of security. There are no social security measures also for the women to ensure that they continue to earn something for their families.
How can the problems of these women solved?
As I said, there have been no laws regulating the work of these women. So it is essential that the government should first ensure that there are some laws, certain regulations, certain impositions on the employers who employ these women, so that they are assured of some minimum wages, and they are assured of working only for a certain number of hours, and they are assured of definite regular payment for the work that they do. There should not be any discrimination between men and women as far as work is concerned, and they should have some continuity in the work. The policy maker should ensure that there is some kind of continuity in the work, so that the women are not thrown out of jobs just according to the whims and fancies of the employers.
It is also said that women, if they are organized into groups, the problems can be solved.
Yes, that is the major problem. In India, we find that most of the women are illiterate and ignorant, and they do not have the voice to voice out their feelings. So if they come in a group, they are scared, they are exploited, they are afraid that if they speak out, they will be thrown out of their jobs. So what if they come in groups and there is somebody who can represent their feelings, their grievances, their demands, that is a possible solution for venting out their grievances and demands, so that somebody is there to voice out their feelings and somebody is there to listen to their demands. That is one possibility, and women should be motivated to first be aware of their rights, aware of their possibility of their venting out their grievances, aware that something can be done. It is not that it is their plight, always they should remain in the same situation. Something can be done if they are made to be aware of that situation, and if they are motivated to voice out their feelings and not be afraid that they will be thrown out of their jobs. Something definitely can be done in that way.
We hear that Seva working in Bombay, it is doing good job for women in the informal sector. Can you tell us something about this organization?
Yes, Seva is an organization which has been struggling hard to bring up the cause of this women, the problems of these women, and there have been several cases where they have rehabilitated and helped women who are in total distress. The women, unfortunately, whatever they earn, they have been exploited by the men folk in their families, and they are made to give whatever earnings they have to the men folk for their pleasure, for their drinks and other things. So they are not able to save whatever they have and use it for the families. So Seva has been one organization which has come to the rescue of these women who are exploited and dominated by the men folk. So such organization should come up, more such organization should come up, and more than that, the women should be aware that there is such organization through which they can benefit and who can help them to overcome their problems.
What are the other activities which this Seva is doing? Does it provide credit to the?
Yes, when women come out and they want to set up their own enterprise, as I said earlier, they want to set up their own small scale industry, maybe tailoring unit or some kind of pickle making or papad making. Definitely Seva comes forward to give credit to women who can repay them at their own pace at a very nominal interest. It is, the main purpose is to make them self dependent, not dependent on anyone. They should be independent irrespective of their education or their family size or their poverty. That is to make the women self reliant and confident that they can take up something on their own.
So far we have seen that the informal sector, which is one of the important sector in the economy, is providing employment to women who are poor, who are below the poverty line and who are unskilled, so that they can support themselves and earn income for their families. We have seen that women work in the 9 sectors, major sectors in the economy, like agriculture. What are the conditions or what are the works which they do in these activities?
If we look at the various activities that women are employed in the informal sector, if we take agriculture for example, they do the sowing, every work is done by the women, including the sowing, the weeding, the watering, everything. In fact, they carry water from long distances and then for domestic use, and also in the agricultural fields, the women workers are those, the people who use water for the crops, etc. In the matter of livestock, women are the ones who clean.
What are the working hours?
The working hours are very, very uncertain and very, very long. They work from dawn to dusk, so to say, and they have very little time to perform their domestic works. So therefore, they mostly depend upon their grown-up children who take care of the house. That is the reason why most of the girl children in the rural area especially, they are not allowed to go to school, because they are supposed to take care of the mother's work at home. They have to take care of their little siblings, also the domestic work, cooking, cleaning, etc. in the house. The women are unable to attend to those, and the men folk will never help the women in the domestic work. The women have to work on the fields. At the same time, they also have to take care of their domestic work at home, for which they depend upon their grown-up daughters. So the result is that the women are totally exhausted at the end of the day, and they are unable to perform any other work, so to say.
How are the wages?
And wages, as far as men and women are concerned, there is again discrimination. Although women work for long hours, it is considered that physical labor cannot be carried out by the women as much as the men can, and therefore they are paid lesser, although they do almost equal work or even sometimes more work and with more commitment and sincerity than the men do, but in spite of it, that is not recognized, and there is no way in which men see that women should be paid more or should be paid along with the men folk. They feel women are physically weaker and therefore they should be paid lesser, irrespective of the work that they do. And similarly, in the field of livestock, if you look at, the women have to do the cleaning of the cattle shed, etc., and they have to take care of the cattle. The men folk only look at the other aspects which are less tedious, I should say. The women are exploited even here. Men feel that it is the job of the women to help them to take care of the livestock, and so therefore women are discriminated a lot even in this sector. In the textiles field, again, as I said, the pre-weaving task was done by the women earlier before the advent of technology, but now that has been taken up by machines and therefore they are displaced. And here women and men work equally in the textiles field, but women work for longer hours, and it is considered to be the domain of women, this block printing, hand printing and so on. But we find men and women working equally in this sector, but wages again are not paid properly, and there is no job security. If the women are not able to do the job properly, they are simply displaced and replaced by men. So therefore, in this sector also there is no job security as such for the women. Then as far as the beverages and tobacco are concerned, what you were mentioning, women are mostly used for cleaning of bottles, washing of bottles and recycling of bottles, which is considered to be the domain of women because it is a job which does not involve much physical labor. They just have to sit at one place and wash and clean the bottles and recycle them so that they can be used for whatever purposes. So that is considered to be the domain of women only. But again, in the number of bottles that they clean, there is no match for the wages that they are paid. It is a very, very meager amount, and for which they have to struggle for long hours. And if they work in a slightly mechanized way, like suppose in a beedi factory, they are exposed to a lot of health hazards because of inhalation of tobacco and other things, and they work in very, very crowded rooms with poor ventilation, and therefore that affects their health very much. So again, here women working in the informal sector are put to a lot of hardship. And if you look at the construction laborers, their plight is the worst because they have to carry heavy loads on their heads without much remuneration, without any rest. Sometimes they even carry their little kids along with them when they carry the heavy loads because they have no place to leave their children, and sometimes feeding mothers are there who have to feed their children at regular intervals, and therefore necessarily they carry the children along with them and feed them whenever possible, for which also they are sometimes rebuked by the employers thinking that they are wasting their time and so on. So their plight is really very pitiable. As far as food products are concerned, mostly we find women engaging themselves in making small snacks like mirchi bhajis, dosas, etc., for which they have to struggle from the day before or few hours before they start selling. Once they start making, they sell them very fast because if they maintain some kind of hygiene, some kind of cleanliness, some kind of taste in the food is sold very fast. But for that they have to make a lot of preparation, and if they charge extensively, they won't get any customers. Therefore, they have to look at that factor and sell them at very nominal prices so that they can compete with the so-called organized sector where we have hotels and other restaurants. So if they are providing the same food at a cheaper rate in a hygienic way, definitely they will attract more customers. But if they are going to charge more, the customers will prefer to go to the hotels and other restaurants which give the same food. So therefore, they have to maintain two things. One is cleanliness and hygiene, and at the same time quality food, tasty food, and at the same time cheap rates, which is a very, very difficult task for them. And so therefore, they are again struggling there. But that is easier for them because most of the women are used to making food products, including not only fast selling products, they are also selling papads, pickles and other aspects which can be stored for long time, and that also they have to maintain extensive hygiene, and they have to meet the requirements of quality food. Without that they cannot sell because nobody is going to buy them there. And the most important thing is they don't have much profit there, because if they have too much profit margin, they cannot sell their products. And then some of the women are engaged in petty retail trade. They have a shop in front of their houses and they sell some products which are of everyday usage, like soaps, maybe sometimes pulses, hair oils and so on and so forth, which they cannot buy in large quantities because they don't have the money to buy. And if they buy in small quantities, they may not be able to cater to the demands of the customers. So they are again in a dilemma. They are neither able to buy large quantities nor supply the required quantity to their customers. Even if they buy large quantities, there may not be any buyers. So they are put to a lot of confusion here as to how exactly they should go about it. Moreover, the space they have is not sufficient because most of the women, they have the retail trading in the front of their houses or in the backyard of their house, where the space is limited, it is overcrowded. It is almost a family enterprise. It is not only the woman who takes care, but also the little children who are there who will help the woman to undertake this task. And some of the women, they are engaged in small teaching jobs. It is not a regular school, but some kind of tuition, we can say, some kind of imparting of education at a very, very nominal rate. They are not really qualified teachers or qualified to teach, but they can sort of help people, little children, to overcome their reading difficulties, etc. So therefore they take up some kind of teaching job, and here also women have come forward to take up this. And most important is the domestic worker. Most of the women, including girl children, are engaged in the domestic service work. Here they get very meager wages, therefore they work for more than one employer. They move from house to house and they work for a few hours in each house, and sometimes they are exploited in each house, in a sense each one wants them to work for longer hours. Whatever they do, it is felt that they are not doing enough, and they are always in a hurry to go to the next house because the demands of the next house will be on their head. So therefore they move from one house to another and sort of earn some money to supplement their family income. And the domestic servants, their plight is such that they do not have any holidays, they do not have any leave, they have to work for long hours right from morning till evening. Sometimes they have to neglect their own domestic work in the context of working for others, and therefore they are exploited, they are not paid enough, and they have no forum where they can express their grievances, express the fact that they are paid less or made to work for long hours. Even when they are sick, they are not spared. So in any of these sectors, we find that the informal women workers are not really getting their due. They are exploited, subordinate, dominated, and treated not properly, I should say. In fact, sometimes they are ill treated, and therefore their plight is very, very pitiable.